Howdy y'all, got the Bulldog on the channel. What we got here today, kind of a story time video, but I had a post on TikTok here a few months ago, and some people were supportive of it and some people really did not like it. They took it personally. But the thing was, I had said that if you're in the course of a repair and you find more that needs to be done and you get excited about that, you're probably not a very good mechanic. Some people took it personally. Well, the point is, if you're a pretty good mechanic, most of the time you're going to be swamped with work. And this one that you're working on, you need to get it done and get it out the door because the next one's coming in. You're overwhelmed all the time. That's the personal aspect of it, where you don't want to find more wrong than what you had slated. The secondary aspect of that is you don't want your customer to have an additional financial hit. They're already having to do work whenever they bring it to you. You want them to get it done as most cost effective for them as possible. You really don't want to find more. They're already having a bad day. You don't want to make it worse for them. Well, here's what we got. Little Honda SUV. What is that? CRX or something like that. Now, it came in as an air conditioning problem. What we diagnosed is the cooling fans were not running at all. So the pressure would get way too high and shut the AC off, and the AC would quit. That's the only symptom. It's the only thing we saw at that exact moment. But I get ready to do the job here. We've got the motor sitting down there, and I see something. I see splatters on the hose. There's some residue down here, and I'm following that up. There's the cap right there. Oh, okay, somebody just spilled it. But there's a lot of stuff down there. Why is it spilled? There's the head of the radiator, but if I can get an angle here where you can see it. Looking straight down, you can see how those latches down there that crimp over the top to hold the head to the cores, they've slipped off, and there's seepage right there. You can see residue all along the top of the head. Now, I saw this because I went to take the cooling fans off. And it was plugged in. We were looking for an AC problem, so we weren't really looking for a cooling problem. It didn't get hot. But home test the fans here, and they're no good. Both of them failed, either at the same time or close to the same time. I'm not sure. But what happened is, as it gets hotter, there's more expansion and everything. Things start moving around. This is an issue when we have the tank across the top like this. It's a longer span, and this plastic, well, it's just prone to failure. Hondas, Toyotas, everything that has that long tank across the top, we've had problems with at some point in its life. It's not something that fails regularly, but it's something that we see on a regular basis. Okay, fast forward to the next day. We talked to the customer. told them what was going on. They cleared it. Had to order the part, of course, but here we are getting the repair. And you can see more of this radiator now. I haven't taken it out yet, but you know, I wanted to get the new one here and look at it to make sure that it wasn't, you know, kicked down a stairwell or something like that. Seen that before. But I'll show you here on this thing what we're looking at. You can see all that wetness down there. That's from up top here, where it's been leaking around the tank and running down and just collecting in a pool around that, not leaking enough that it would really get to the ground. You can see some staining way down there in the tray, but just some discoloration on the core. And now with a bunch of stuff out of the way, you can see how long of a span this top tank has. And see that there, the plastic is just popping in. Core, you know, it might wow out a little bit, but usually it's the plastic that the bottom end of it starts to shrink in, and that's what slips it off of this. Crimping is not going to help. Your plastic tank is the actual problem. Anymore, having that tank put on there costs as much as buying a new radiator. With the way that labor prices are and everything, you should get a new radiator. It has a warranty on it for at least a period of time. And then here's another reason why we don't fix them anymore. We were having problems with these aluminum tabs right here cracking when they spread them out, put a new tank on it and crimp them back down. The aluminum tab would crack across here at the bend point, and then you would start to have a failure. So after you put a tank on it, it becomes weak. So we just don't do that anymore. It's sad that we throw stuff away, but well, parts are relatively cheap comparatively. This job is really not all that bad. I got the upper core support off, gives me all kinds of room, and I believe from the time involved, it reflected that in doing the fans. So we're gonna go ahead and, I got the system draining, that's why I'm not in too big of a hurry. It's sitting there dripping. I don't want to pick it up and go underneath unless I have to. I got to anyway. We also have to flush the heater core on this because the heater doesn't work. It doesn't have any heat to it. One of the hoses is cold, so while the system's down, we'll go ahead and do that too. So I'll get back after it. Okay, I got this thing all back together. We're going to go ahead and zero the timeout on those cooling fans. Now that I've got it done, it's pretty obvious that that's something you're going to do in the course of doing the radiator. So I'll get that taken care of. I flushed out the heater core while I had the system down. And as you can tell by the look of the floor here, that went over like a fart in a diving helmet. So I got to change the oil on it yet. I'll get it up on the pads and get it up in the air and change that. And then we'll check everything over and see what we look like. Now on that day, I didn't get a chance to finish out the video, shoot an outro. And then yesterday I wasn't feeling all that well, so we didn't get a whole lot done except for clean the shop down there. And I forgot to do the outro. But customer came and got it. Everything was great. The whole point of this video wasn't really a how-to on how to do that radiator. It was to make the point that we don't like finding more things. We don't want to have to call the customer with bad news. I've been told that, well, you need to be able to tell them. Yeah, that's not the point. We tell them about stuff. The point is we don't like finding it. We're not, greedy SOBs that every time we find something,
Oh, yes. Yes, we get to charge more.
No. Fix it for a cheaper price and send it out the door and have the next one come in. So, a busy mechanic, a good mechanic, it's like a train station. You better get that train loaded and get it out of the station because the next one's coming in. So, that's my take on it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit your little bell notification, share it all around. We'll talk to you later.